Welcome back to Unwinding Roads. My name is Teddy and behind me is my brand new 2022 Jeep Gladiator EcoDiesel Sport. Now being a 2022, like many others, I do not have the auxiliary switches. You just couldn't get them because of the shortage. Also, many of you don't have heated seats, which is something that you can add easily. You're gonna need the switch panel to run those heated seats. As well as being a Jeep, there's gonna be a million accessories that I'm adding to it, like lights and a few other things. So I definitely needed a switch panel. What I didn't want was a block sitting on top of my dash. Because it's an EcoDiesel, I plan to run a monitor so that I can keep an eye on my temperatures, and that's what's gonna be taking up the space on my dash. So I didn't want that. I wanted something that looked factory. And well, I found it. So as you can see, I've already cheated a little bit. I've already started the process. There's a million videos on YouTube about how to get these panels off, but basically the top one, you just pull it off. You gotta get in behind there and pull. There's no screws holding it whatsoever. It feels like you're gonna break it. You probably won't break it, but who knows. The bottom one is only held by one screw, which is easily visible. You unscrew that, and then same thing, pull it out. Once you have that done, you'll see where the switch panel goes. So we're gonna take this piece off and we're gonna install the panel. So right out the gate, when I put this in place, every single one of the holes lines up perfectly. Every single one. And there it is. Okay, so the other part I cheated on was I already ran my wires. So you're gonna have to go back and watch the Kraken video where I install an onboard air inflation system. And we had to run the power wires up here. So at the same time, I ran the wire that I need for the Voswitch just to make everything easy. So I ran it under the seat. There's a plug. And then I ran it through here, up through there. And the wire comes out right here. So we're gonna plug that in and get that installed. And this is the panel that I wanted to run. This is the EcoDiesel model. I was actually advised not to get this panel. The reason being is because of the EcoDiesels, it's actually going to mount on top of the fuse box. And the person over at Voswitch let me know that a lot of people don't want to do that. They don't want to put the box on top of the fuse box. Personally, I don't care. It's 2 screws. I mean, it's not the end of the world. I can just undo the 2 screws, get to my fuse box. Should be fairly easy. I'll make sure I leave enough wire so that when I do need to move it, I'll have that slack in the wire to be able to do so. All right, so I got my wire here. We'll plug this in. There's a little notch so it only goes one way. There we go. Don't forget to put that one screw back in. Now just snap into place. Reinstall this little piece. And that is that. Now this wire is used if you want the power to be with the ignition. I don't. I want to be able to run my radio and certain things while the ignition is off. So I will not be using this wire. So there's a bunch of different options for panels, switch panels for Jeeps, but I found this one to be the nicest looking, and a major factor is that it has memory. In other words, if I turn on my lockers and for some reason I have to turn off my vehicle, when I turn on my vehicle, the lockers will automatically turn back on. This is a big deal. Many of the panels out there don't have this option. So if you were to turn on your lockers, you turn your vehicle off, you turn your vehicle back on, you're gonna have to press your locker buttons again. So if you're looking to get a switch panel, make sure that it does have memory. Now, being the Sport, I didn't have the locker buttons at all. Okay, so what I wanted was something that was gonna take that whole area where you would normally have the aux switches as well as the locker switches. I wanted something that would take up that whole area, and I was trying to find something that could do it. There was a couple of options out there, but I found this one to be the best looking. And again, with that memory feature, that's huge. I'm gonna show you what it looks like installed, and if it's perhaps something that you're looking to get, link in the description. I'm gonna go over how to install it and some more of the features that this particular switch panel has. I have my radio mounted up here, as you can see. I wanted that wired into my switch panel. I wanted to be able to turn on my radio without turning on my vehicle, which you're able to do that with this switch panel. So I have that hooked up right now. I'm going to show you exactly how I have this switch panel set up right now. It does have 12 available switches. I'm currently only using 8 of them, okay? It comes with a sticker sheet, and you can put the stickers on depending on what you're going to be using it for. And there's all sorts of options on there. You have your heated seats, you have lights, all sorts of different lights, pod lights, rock lights, front bumper lights, light bars, all sorts of things. You also got a couple of funny ones. You got Sasquatch on there and Alien on there. You don't want Sasquatch rolling up on you when you're not ready. Making jokes when you're alone in the car just doesn't have the same effect. All right, I'm gonna show you what this switch panel, how I have it set up. So I got my front and rear lockers where they normally would be on a Rubicon. I got my front bumper light. I got my hood lights, which is the pod lights that I have up there. Fog lights is something I plan on adding, which will be a bunch of amber lights, and I'll be able to put those wherever and use that switch. Rock lights, I have rock lights from Auxbeam that I'm going to be installing, and they'll be hooked up to there. And then over here is my radio and the water pump. Now I know what you're thinking, what's the water pump for? Well, that's going to be a bit of a surprise. I have something that's going to be getting installed in the Jeep, which will require a water pump, and it's something that is not out on the market yet. It's a game changer for sure. So make sure you subscribe. There's still a lot more upgrades coming to this Jeep and a whole bunch of adventure videos. All right, so this is how I currently have it set up. There's a couple of things that may be different for me than would be for you, but these Auxbeam headlights have the halo in them, and they require like a box for the RGB lighting. You're supposed to run them off of a switch panel. So I have them running off of my switch panel. You probably don't have these headlights. If you do, you can run them off of the switch panel. So far, I like the headlights. More on that in another video. Today we're talking about the switch panel, which is right here. I have everything running into here. My wiring is not the greatest, but it never is. I don't have the winch running off of here. This switch panel, I say only, but it's quite a bit of power. Can do up to 100 amps maximum. Now my Auxbeam big floodlights down here, they only run about 10 amps. The ones up here is about 4 amps. I'm not quite sure what the water pump is gonna be. But anyways, I didn't want to be running the winch off of there. It runs straight off the battery. I have a Bluetooth controller for it, so the winch is not being run off of here. I'm gonna show you what the box looks like inside. You gotta pop these little clips. The box is dustproof and waterproof. On the inside here, you're gonna see a seal. I got it nice and close so that you can see it. And you've got a relay for each one of your switches. You've got the power cable, which is also waterproof. And then you've got the negative on the other side. Another cool feature about this is these relays and the fuses are replaceable. So if you have a 10 amp fuse that you need to use, then you can just put that in there instead of what it comes with, which is a 30 amp fuse. Each one of these switches is very clearly marked, 1 through 12. And then on the inside, we'll go back in there and show you what they mean. But when we go back in there, we're gonna go in at night, because another key feature that I love about this particular switch panel is the lighting. So you get to choose your lighting between white, blue, green, and you can also dim it, which was another huge feature. So I ended up dimming it pretty low because I like my lights inside pretty dim. All right, welcome back. It's raining. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking I got a haircut, and I know it looks like I got a haircut, but what actually happened is when you're a new father of a new baby girl, hair loss happens. So here we are, it's nighttime. I'm gonna show you what the switch panel looks like at night. Super exciting. I'll turn off these lights and I'll give you a good view of what it looks like. So as you can see, the lights light up just as they should. This one here for the CB radio is orange right now. Now I'm gonna zoom in a little bit because I think it's important that you see that there is like 2 little LED lights on each one. And what happens is you end up with some of the sticker kind of blacked out. You see? You can really tell on the front locker. It doesn't say locker, it says lock. But you can see the rear lock is not lit up at all on the bottom. Overall, I mean, it's exactly how I would hope. These little stickers that are blank, they shine through ever so slightly. You can barely tell. The one right above it is the one that I'm using for the halo. So it's orange right now and you can't see the orange shining through at all. But overall, this is what it looks like. As you can see, the lighting is exactly the way it should be. It matches up perfectly. And that's all you can ask for, really. And so there you have it. My opinion on the best switch panel that you can get for the Jeep Gladiator or the Jeep Wrangler at this time if you don't have those aux switches. During the making of this video, there is a new product out on the market. I personally still like mine better, mostly because I like that flat look and because these ones have stickers instead of just numbers that you can't replace. These ones you can replace. You could even have the stickers that have the numbers. So if you have bad memory like me, you don't want to remember which number is what, especially when you have 12 switches. So personally, that's why I like this one better. But if you want to check out the new one, make sure you follow my friend KC250. He's gonna have something new for you on his channel. But like I said, personally, I still like this one better. The decision is yours. I'm just here to give you the information. Also, I've mentioned it before and I'm gonna mention it again. It was me that reached out to Voswitch. And I just want to be very clear on that. This isn't a product that I'm pushing because they reached out to me and said, hey, help sell this product. This was one that I wanted to run and I reached out to them. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, go away, get lost, and unwind.